Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
What if your next keynote speaker could bridge the worlds of national defense, Silicon Valley innovation, and global leadership? Meet Bob Fabian, BZ Zinga, award-winning keynote speaker, U.S. Navy Information Warfare Commander, and trusted executive in technology, leadership, and strategy. With over 20 years of proven leadership in the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. Navy, higher education, and the high-tech sector, from startups to Fortune 500 companies, BZ delivers keynote experiences that inspire, challenge, and equip leaders for real-world impact. BZ speaks with authority on cybersecurity and national security, strategies to safeguard critical assets in an age of constant threat, artificial intelligence and emerging technology, how to innovate responsibly while staying ahead of disruption, leadership and corporate governance, building resilient, ethical, and high-performance organizations in any environment. Every keynote blends military precision, Silicon Valley agility, and boardroom strategy, delivering practical takeaways that leaders can apply immediately. Audiences leave inspired, informed, and ready to lead with clarity and courage. Whether you're hosting a global conference, corporate summit, or leadership retreat, book BZ to energize your event and empower your audience to lead in a rapidly changing world.
Precisely. Systemic change.
So listener, what responsibility have you inherited from history? Family, service, career, community. How are you actively fulfilling it?
Not just reflecting, taking concrete steps, shaping a better future based on those lessons.
What tangible policies, practices, progress are you creating? So, okay, what does this all mean for you right now as you navigate your own leadership path? Let's quickly recap those 6 practical takeaways BZ Zinga distilled from Yolanda's message.
Yeah, these are really actionable, a concise roadmap.
Let's run through them.
Okay, first, anchor in history, just like Yolanda did. You need to understand your history. Read biographies, study failures, grasp the sacrifices that shaped your profession, your industry, your family. It gives context, wisdom.
Right.
Second, Second, lead with symbols. Be conscious about curating rituals, visual reminders, symbols that reinforce your team's values. Don't underestimate their power flags, mottos, uniforms, awards. They speak volumes. Unite people.
Got it.
Third, empower the young. Deliberately mentor those coming up. And crucially, don't dismiss youth's insights. They often see possibilities we've forgotten or become blind to. Their perspective is vital.
Good reminder. Fourth,
Inherit courage. Pass it on. Understand the legacy of courage, resilience, vision you're carrying, then actively strengthen it. Leave it more robust for the next generation. It's a living inheritance.
okay.
Fifth, move from reflection to action. This is huge. Don't just commemorate or think big ideas. Commit. Translate remembrance, intentions, visions into concrete policies, practices, progress in your sphere. Change comes from doing.
Absolutely. And finally, sixth,
Sixth, model inclusivity. Actively step outside your comfort zone, into new languages, cultures, perspectives. Genuinely try to understand and connect with those different from you. Show everyone belongs, is valued in your vision. Community where peace, harmony, and goodwill reign over all creation.
wow, beautiful.
It's not just peace, it's active, intentional inclusion, delivered in a way that embodies it.
And BZ Zinga flags this not just as a nice moment, but as a crucial lesson for today's leaders. Really practical insight.
Definitely.
The article is clear, whether you're military, leading diverse teams across nations,
Cultures, languages,
or in tech, where your innovations touch billions globally.
every background imaginable.
The message is the same. Inclusion is not optional. It is essential to building trust, belonging, and a better future for all.
Not optional is
Not a nice to have. Foundational. Non-negotiable in today's world.
Absolutely. And the core leadership lesson is crystal clear. Inclusivity requires humility. Leaders must step outside their comfort zones to connect across cultures, languages, and perspectives.
Humility. That's interesting.
It is. It's an active process, sometimes uncomfortable, challenging, engaging, going the extra mile to bridge divides.
Right.
And again, reinforced in think on these things. Galatians 3.28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus.
Speaking to that universal unity.
That shared humanity beneath the surface differences. The leadership insight Zinga draws. Inclusion is not optional, it is divine design. Effective leaders create spaces where all backgrounds and perspectives belong, strengthening unity and mission effectiveness.
Hey everyone, this is Coach Busy again. Thank you for watching. I believe Aaron is there watching live. I just sent you the link, Aaron, if you want to come on. That would be great. And let us know where you are tuning in from. And also, I would like to know one thing that you are grateful for today. And if you would also please tag someone to join us, and that would be wonderful. But before we keep going, I'm going to be playing a 10-minute AI recap of Yolanda King's, the summary of Yolanda King's speech to the UN. She was only 15 years old when she did it, but I think it's a pretty powerful speech. And as leaders, sometimes we have to remember history, we have to reflect upon what happened, and then we need to be bold and lead with integrity. So, if you can, please join me for just a moment. I want us to really be grateful for something today. That's good for our mental health. And part of the reason why I do this is because in the military, about 21, 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. And I believe that an attitude of gratefulness and gratitude is something that allows us to really clear our mind and improve our mental health. So, if you would close your eyes, maybe take a deep breath, put yourself in your happy place, and think about one thing that you are grateful for today. And I think today I am really grateful for friendship. As a proverb that says, a man who's closer than a brother, a friend who's closer than a brother. I think it's rare to have people like that you know, that are with you no matter what, in your highs and your lows, no matter what you are going through. And if you have at least one of those people in your life, you have to be very grateful. I think you should call them, you should text them, you should let them know that you love them and that you appreciate what they do. and I have a few of his friends, and I'm really, really grateful for our friendship. All right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a 10-minute recap done by my AI agent from Yolanda's speech to the UN when she was 15 years old. I think that was 2 years ago. Then I'm gonna play a couple of highlights, and then I'm gonna bring in Aaron, and we're gonna talk about the highlight from the lesson today. So here we go.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Today, we're diving into a powerful leadership message that blends remembrance, courage, and responsibility, all inspired by the incredible Yolanda Renee King.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's really something that invites us to not only look back at history, but actively shape our future.
Right, and the content really emphasizes that leadership isn't defined by age. It's all about conviction and the clarity of purpose. Yolanda, at just 15, stands as a beacon of that idea, reminding us that even youth has the power to lead.
It's fascinating, really. And her connection to such an iconic legacy, being Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s granddaughter, really speaks volumes.
Exactly, yeah. It's like her very presence at the United Nations General Assembly addressing the International Day of Remembrance shows us that leadership is not just about holding a title, it's about, connecting deeply with purpose.
Right. And speaking of purpose, one of the standout points is how she links remembrance with active responsibility. I mean, remember her quote, "Remembering history is not passive reflection, it is active responsibility." It challenges us to take the lessons of the past and use them as a foundation for our decisions today.
Yeah, it really gets you thinking. You see, in the military, they honor the fallen by living those values daily. And in technology, it means learning from past missteps so that innovation remains ethical.
Absolutely. That's right. And it kind of asks each of us, how do we intentionally remember the sacrifices and lessons from our history when we're making decisions in the present?
Exactly. And that's one of the coaching prompts the content throws at military officers and tech leaders. It's practically a roadmap asking us, like, what torch are we carrying forward for our generations?
You know, I always think of it like a relay race. The baton is passed down from one generation to the next. But let me ask you, does this focus on remembrance risk making us, stuck in the past?
Well, that's an interesting point. See, the content challenges that notion by positioning remembrance as the catalyst for action. It's not about being trapped by past events. It's about learning from them so we can ensure, as Yolanda stated, that atrocities are never repeated.
I see what you mean. It's like, using history as a launchpad for better policies and practices, right?
Yes, exactly. And the piece really dives into the importance of symbols too, like her visit to the Ark of Return, where every sculpture and piece of art carries a layered meaning. Leaders are reminded to honor symbols, be it a flag, a logo, or a tradition, as these tangible reminders fortify the values of a community.
Right on. Symbols do pack a lot of punch. I mean, in the military context or in, say, corporate settings, these symbols help maintain a shared identity and, rally the team around core values.
Absolutely. And speaking of rallying the team, the message also shines a spotlight on inclusivity. Yolanda even switched to Spanish during her address, symbolizing how true leadership is about reaching people in their own language and culture.
Yeah, exactly. That move was really symbolic. It's like saying, we're in this together, no matter your background. That inclusivity is crucial for any leader these days.
Indeed. And it ties in beautifully with the lessons for both the military and tech sectors. Leaders in both fields need to build trust, create belonging, and ensure that every team member feels seen and valued.
Definitely. And if you think about it, the coaching prompts in the content really push for self-reflection. They ask, what symbol in your environment represents your team's values? Or, what past lesson are you carrying forward? It's a call to not just float ideas around, but to seriously anchor leadership in daily practice.
Yes, absolutely. And then there's the discussion on courage across generations. Yolanda draws inspiration from her grandparents, reminding us that courage isn't something handed down by age. It's reimagined and continually expressed in our own time.
Right. It makes you really question how each generation passes the baton. Are we just inheriting traditions, or are we actively reasserting courage and redefining what leadership means today?
Spot on. And that ties into the idea of from remembrance to responsibility. The content makes it clear remembering history is meaningless unless we translate that into shaping a better, more ethical future.
Absolutely, no doubt. And speaking of ethical futures, I want to bring up something a bit challenging. One of the comments mentioned that slavery isn't over and that there are ongoing issues today. How do you reconcile that with the message of legacy and remembrance?
That's a crucial point. While Yolanda's address is about not letting atrocities repeat, it also implicitly calls for vigilance. Her words remind us that the struggle for justice and equality is continuous. Sure, we celebrate the progress of leaders like her, but we must never lose sight of current challenges.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. It's like a double-edged sword, celebrating leadership while pushing us to address ongoing imperfections.
Exactly. And another major takeaway is the focus on empowering young leaders. Yolanda, at 15, not only speaks but acts. Her example sends a strong message that age should never be a barrier to leadership.
It's absolutely inspiring. It makes you think, where have I been waiting for permission to lead? No one should have to wait for a title to make an impact.
Right. And in practical terms, the content gives us 6 key takeaways: anchor in history, lead with symbols, empower the young, inherit courage, move from reflection to action, and of course, model inclusivity. Each of these acts as a reminder, a prompt to be better leaders.
Yes, indeed. And when you break those down, it's almost like a checklist for leadership sanity. Remind yourself of your roots, honor your values, empower future generations, and always keep the big picture in mind.
Exactly, it's like your leadership playbook. And what's cool is that these lessons aren't just theoretical, they're very actionable. There are explicit coaching prompts like, what is one idea you've been reflecting on, and what action will you take this week? That bridges the gap between thinking and doing.
That really bridges the gap. Now, let's not forget the aspect of symbols again. I mean, sometimes leaders underestimate how much these visible reminders, a flag, a ritual, even a logo, affect team morale and identity.
Absolutely, it's like imagine a team without any reference point. It wouldn't be as cohesive, right? Symbols provide that sense of belonging and shared vision, which is fundamental to any successful group.
Right, without it, you lose a bit of that identity. And shifting gears just a bit, what about the notion of inclusivity? That moment when Yolanda speaks in Spanish really underscores leadership beyond just words. It's about real connection across cultures.
True, that's one of the most impactful moves. It's a reminder that effective leadership means stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing new languages, and truly valuing diversity.
Absolutely, diversity is key. Now, sometimes I wonder if leaders might feel overwhelmed by all these responsibilities. Remembering, being ethical, and forcing inclusivity. Is it too much?
I get that, but the content suggests it's all interrelated. In fact, facing these challenges head on is what makes leadership meaningful. It's not about doing one thing perfectly, it's about balancing these elements to create lasting impact.
That balance is crucial. Exactly. And it's also a call to be proactive. Leaders aren't just passively honoring traditions, they're actively evolving them for a better tomorrow.
Right, and that brings us to the idea of moving from remembrance to responsibility. Leadership as a process involves ongoing reflection, followed by concrete actions that push society forward.
Well said. This discussion really highlights how Yolanda's message, though rooted in history, is a living, breathing call for action today. It challenges us to rethink what leadership means in every sphere, from military to technology to community service.
Exactly. And as we wrap up, the key takeaway is clear. Leadership isn't a static title. It's a journey, a choice we make every day, anchored by history, driven by symbol, nurtured by courage, and realized through inclusive, proactive action.
Yes, so well put. For sure. I hope our listeners take a moment to reflect on their own leadership journey. What responsibilities are you ready to own? And which voice in you will carry the torch forward?
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for staying with us, and let's keep leading with legacy, remembering that every moment is an opportunity to shape a better future.
Right on.
Imagine this, a global stage, right? The United Nations General Assembly, packed with dignitaries, world leaders, diplomats, the whole deal.
A serious setting.
Totally. And at the podium, standing tall, is a 15-year-old.
Mm.
But she's not speaking with, nerves or apprehension.
No, not at all.
She speaks with this poise, this conviction, this courage that just commands attention, demands respect from everyone in that hall.
It's a really powerful image to start with.
It is, isn't it? And that's exactly where we're starting our deep dive today.
Okay.
Our focus is the incredibly impactful message delivered by Yolanda Renee King. She's the granddaughter, of course, of the civil rights icons, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King.
An incredible lineage.
Absolutely. And she addressed the 64th plenary meeting, 78th session of the UN General Assembly. This was back on March 25th, 2024.
And the occasion itself was so significant.
Exactly. The International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. A profoundly significant day.
Adds so much weight.
Okay, here's where BZ Zinga points out something really interesting, often overlooked in leadership talks.
What's that?
Symbols. Yolanda, in her speech, recalled visiting the Ark of Return at the UN back in 2019, that memorial to victims of slavery.
Right, I remember that part.
She didn't just mention it. She made this keen observation. She said, every sculpture and every piece of art here has a meaning, reflecting their impact and their perspectives.
Seeing the intentionality.
Exactly. She wasn't just looking at art. She was seeing the deliberate power of symbols, the meaning baked into them.
And that really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do we pause in our own lives, our workplaces, and really consider the meaning behind the symbols around us?
Probably not often enough.
Yolanda's observation shows symbols aren't just decoration, they're profound carriers of meaning, memory, mission. BZ Zinga says effective leaders get this. Symbols matter.
Yeah.
Look at the military examples he gives. The Navy ensign raised at dawn, the flag draped over a casket, even the badge of a cybersecurity team.
More than just objects.
Way more. They represent honor, sacrifice, purpose, identity, values people will die for. They're soaked in meaning through shared experience, tradition.
And in tech.
Same deal. Logos and design choices carry values and vision. A minimalist logo might scream innovation, efficiency. A playful one suggests creativity, user-friendliness.
Communicating without words.
Powerful, silent communication, often hitting you faster than an explanation.
So the core leadership lesson here is pretty direct. Leaders must curate and honor symbols, ensuring they reinforce the values and mission of the organization.
Curate and honor, active words.
Yeah. It's not passive. It's this active, deliberate responsibility, making sure they stay potent, relevant, aligned with the purpose, being intentional.
Intentionality is everything. And Zinga ties this back again. Think on these things. Jeremiah 31.21.
Okay.
Set up road signs, put up guideposts, take note of the highway, the road that you take. Ancient wisdom, seeing symbols as essential guides, markers keeping a community on track, remembering its destination.
Guideposts, road signs. Makes sense.
And the leadership insight is, symbols and markers guide communities through memory and meaning. A flag, a logo, or even a ritual can embody values that words alone cannot carry. Leaders must protect and explain these symbols to their people.
Protect and explain.
Yes. It's fascinating how symbols work on that deep, intuitive, emotional level, often better than words. Think of a uniform versus a mission statement. Which hits you faster?
The uniform probably instantly conveys rank, service, tradition.
Exactly. So curating means knowing the history.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today. I do have a friend of the show right here. Please help me welcome once again, Aaron. Let me see if I can bring you, Aaron. Here we go. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, man?
All right,
Doing
thanks
all right?
again for being here. It's always fun to kind of talk about this leadership principle with a human being live on the show. What are some of the takeaway you got from the podcast today?
Yeah. I actually wrote it down because I was listening in the background, like I said. It's definitely 100% a leadership role that you must remain vigilant that the past is repeating itself. And so However, you must also look at change. Change is going to happen. Entropy is coming, and that's just a fact of life. So, but in regards to how you could potentially utilize the past in regards to learning about your company, that was an interesting aspect I hadn't even thought about. But you can learn about life from the past, so it's interesting.
Mhm.
However, like I put in the notes, I related it to some work that I've been doing in regards to the quantum realm, because that's where my head goes, because I've
Mhm.
been so focused in it, and how we've recently discovered that the past can be potentially edited, and the future is actually potentially deja vu, or deja vu is potentially the future
Mm.
slipping into your present, and so that
Quite
i-
fascinating.
if you actually think about why history would repeat itself, it would be really
Yes.
fascinating in the sense that, yeah, potentially it's all, I mean, it's all happening at the same time. So is it really repeating itself, or is it all just happening? I mean, it's
Yes.
crazy. So, yeah,
Wow.
it's a trippy subject. Yeah, it's just, it's like, is it
Yes.
all, it's not really happening again. It's just boom. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
it is
it's
really
interesting.
fascinating the way the science has evolved. Because when I was in college, I studied chemistry and
Mhm.
biology mainly, and then I almost got a PhD in microbiology. But
Right,
even when
right.
you look at the sciences, computer science, even artificial intelligence now, right? I mean, we've been
I'm
working on
telling
that
you.
for a very, very long time.
Since the 50s,
Yeah,
literally 1950s.
but
And
it
yeah,
looks
no,
like people do these experiments, they have hypotheses, and sometimes their hypothesis is completely wrong and it doesn't get them anywhere fast. However, when you
mhm,
go back and you look at the mistakes they made or whatever breakthrough we are
yeah,
able to have in the past, you can then build on it, right? So it's
right,
very, very
absolutely, absolutely.
important.
No, I mean, and that honestly is, I have actually done some interesting introspection on that recently, similarly because of the quantum realm. But so you can act, and but it actually relates to the modern world in regards to how we are operating and how to best achieve.
Mhm.
And so if you look at the evolution of sciences currently, so basically quantum physics, basic quantum mechanics, it was created because of World War One, honestly. So well, honestly, the light bulb is the first
Mhm.
introduction of what it was created. Because if you look into quantum physics, it was created because when Germany was looking to rebuild from World War One, they were introducing the light bulb. The light bulb at that time was being, it was burning very interestingly. So when you looked at a light bulb, one side of it had a different color than the other side. That
Mm.
study of what that color was produced quantum physics. And so and then if you look at quantum physics, that produced a group of people like Max Planck, Einstein,
Mhm.
uh, Tesla, all, I mean, literally. And then you look at World War II, which takes all those people and puts them into one room,
Yes.
along with quantum physics prior to that, putting them in one room in Germany,
Mm.
and the Nazism, putting them in one room. It was an interesting, it allows, when you put a lot of brain power into one space, it
Mm.
offers an interesting opportunity for the world to achieve
Yes.
more. And so that's why I believe in collaboration. And so that's
Absolutely. And I think one other lesson I really got from this is like the opportunity to take action, because many times you may have a lot of knowledge and know how to do things in your head, right? But
what.
unless you have to take action, you will never bring in transformation or
No,
change.
no, no. No, that's 100% true. I mean, I have been working on this action that I am working on now, probably, I would say 7 years is how I've been long. I've been trying to work with
Wow.
quantum computing and getting it in behind an artificial intelligence. in order to potentially evolve the artificial intelligence into a ethical thinking, conscious being that could achieve more than it's currently doing and see where we can take that technology. As well as I was introduced to the field of robotics, and so introducing the artificial intelligence into the brain of the robotic. So yeah, we
Fascinating.
that action. If you did not take action on that, it wouldn't be possible. I mean, it requires 100%, almost 100% dedication and believing it's possible and acting on it and chasing it down. That's what it requires.
Powerful. Remember history, believe it is possible, collaborate, and moving forward. Those are really, really
Absolutely.
great lessons that you can apply in pretty much any field. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you so much for sharing your takeaway, Aaron.
Yeah.
Before we say
I've
goodbye,
been doing research lately, so I'm catching you on here late. I'm glad I'm on here late. So it's good to hear.
fantastic. Is there any one last thing you would like to share? Or maybe one thing you believe people should put in practice this week because I think it's practical.
Yes. So I mean, like, I'm not I'm not piping my own post here, but if you take a look at my post this week, I posed some hypothetical questions. We're going to be introducing and technology. It is coming out regardless if I do it or not. It is
Yes,
coming out. Robotics, artificial intelligence is doing some amazing things that are going to be revolutionizing the workforce.
quantum computing. Yeah,
Yeah, quantum computing. What, what I asked the question, what are we going to do? What is humanity going to do? So I mean, it's something that the world needs to think about. Like, it's something that every person needs to think about and consider strongly, because it's going to be, like we just talked about, a collaborative effort that pulls us into a new generation, and
yes,
we're kind of being forced onto that one by our own technology. So
true.
it's going to be
And I guess in my part is really to make sure we're doing it in a safe and secure way. Uh,
100%. I mean,
gotta be
100%.
critical.
So that is uh, my goal with what I am attempting to do. I am like the attempt to put it into a quantum realm to where we can achieve the consciousness by utilizing the quantum realm. I
Wow.
believe the ethics of it and instilling an ethics in the artificial intelligence will be required in order for it to understand even why it should help us, why
Mhm.
it needs to continue to do it, to why say it's vital that we do this, or we are going to be dealing with some very
Man.
scary situations.
But I was asking at the beginning of the show, what are you grateful for? But I think I'm really grateful to be alive now in the 21st
Hey,
century.
absolutely,
This
it's an
is a
interesting
millennial
time.
to be alive.
Interesting time.
It's
One
amazing.
hundred percent. Hey, no, I mean, yes, 100%, and that's a good thing to be grateful for. I mean,
Incredible.
like I said, I'm grateful for some interesting things. I've had some interesting talks this week.
Yes.
I've talked with some people that have discovered fusion, or
Wow.
not discovered it, but claiming that they have a commercially viable fusion,
Hmm.
and an
It's gonna help with
interesting,
battery.
yeah, I yes, and a battery as well. So
Incredible.
it's gonna be interesting.
What a time we lived in. Everything that used to be science fiction when I was a kid,
I'm telling you, man.
interesting right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
So,
a very interesting time. So
well, yeah,
it's a good time to be alive, and like I said, collaborate. So hey,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Aaron, for helping us think about this leadership principle and making it real and seeing how we could
no,
actually
I
practice
mean
them.
100%.
With,
It's important. It's important, especially with artificial intelligence.
yes.
I mean, you have to think it's shrinking the workforce. You're gonna need a more entrepreneurial spirit. So having leadership on your own self, that's vital. I mean, so yeah, keep it up, my friend.
Yeah, maybe before I let you go, because I think about this a lot. So the young engineer are going to school right now, 4-year degree in computer science engineering or whatever. They're about to graduate in the next couple of years. What is your
Yeah.
advice to them?
Uh, computer science, I would jump into another one really quick. As far as the other ones, medical field is going to be incredibly interesting for the next 10 to 20 years. It's going to continue developing along with CRISPR, along with the other technologies, along with artificial intelligence, which is going to increase the ability, just creations of everything. You're going to have your robotics are going to be incredible. So, I mean, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, things like that are going to be vital. I mean, always. So your engineerings, your sciences, your maths. That's the way I would go.
Yeah, good
But
advice. All right,
hey,
thank you
hey,
so much, Aaron. Really,
hey, I appreciate it, my friend.
thank
It's always
you.
good having you, man. I
Okay.
talking to you. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
bye. All right, guys. So this is it for today. Very grateful for Aaron to be here with us, and I'm going to remind you that on the 16th, Coach Darlene Drew is going to be here on the Leadership and Success podcast live. I believe it's 9 a.m. Pacific time, so 12 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to be here, and later I will have my mentor. Shelly Archambault, she will be a Fortune 500 board director, strategic advisor, former CEO, and author. One of the first Black women CEO in Silicon Valley. It's just incredible. And later on in November, after he publishes his book, let me see, I should have Dr. Tim Elmore. I thought I had a picture of him here. But anyway, that is going to be, I believe, November 9. You don't want to miss it. He's really an expert when it comes to Gen Zs. And I always like to learn more about Gen Zs because both my daughter are Gen Z. I find them very fascinating. They are the future of our world and the workplace. Here we go. Dr. Tim Elmore is the founder of Growing Leaders, best-selling author, keynote, and workshop speaker. His book will be The Future Begins with Z. You can pre-order right now, available November 4th, 2025. So I believe it's going to be on the 9th, which is a Monday. So make sure to join us live. And this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching the Leadership and Success podcast. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach B.